Hi, everyone. So, I am very behind in the times when it comes to things that have been out for a while, and I finally get around to reading them or getting them or seeing them. So I was listening to a podcast. I think it was My Autistic World is what I was listening to, and the dude mentioned a song called Actually Autistic by, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, hyper veridical. I mean, it reads like hyper vertical, but there's like two eyes in there. So I don't know, hyper veridical. But anyways, that's a really good song. If you haven't heard of this person, I suggest check him out. I mean, the song could be cut like maybe 2 minutes shorter, but like aside from that, it's really good. Like very specific. I feel very like seen in those lyrics. Um I think you'll enjoy it if you haven't heard of it. And then I finally am getting around to listening to the audiobook of Devon Price's Unmasking for Life. Oh my god. That is so good. If you have not like read that, please read that because you're going to feel so validated. Um so like I listened to the first book, uh and it was good. Like who doesn't know who Devon Price is at this point, you know what I mean? um and the first book was it, like I said, was really good, but it was academic. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it. Scholarly, I don't know. um like I guess it was like more information type stuff. It was all useful and we needed. It was just more of like a stuffy kind of listen or read. I don't know if that makes sense. So I kind of was like going into this one expecting it to be the same, but I want to learn everything I can about autism. And so I started listening and I was like, oh my God, Devon's being very conversational right now. And it's just like listening to somebody tell me the things I've always wanted to hear about like how I'm allowed to live my life. So, um, if there's anybody who has not heard of Devon Price, go check out those books. Um, Especially the second one. I think that one came out in May. Um, what else? Lots of life updates. So, solved the Caesar pooping issue. Um, oh my God. So it has smelled like literal shit in the house. This is not a big house. It is not a big house. It's not a tiny house, but it's not a big house. And for the last several days, it's just been smelling like shit. In the front part of the house, which is Alicia's room and the kitchen and the library. And I had had enough of it. I was like, I don't understand because I don't like who wants their house to smell like shit? Not me. I love smells. I love good smells. I've always had my homes, my apartments, throughout my adult life, they have always had very pleasant smells. I mean, I went through a candle stage where I had like 20 candles lit at once, mostly of the same scent, but like the little tea lights and stuff. Um, I use essential oils, I use the wax smells, like I just love good smells. So I have been very perturbed that the house has been smelling like poop. And I'm out in Alicia's room and I brought my what is it? Es- Essential oil diffuser. It's just this small little thing. I brought it out to her room. I put peppermint in it because it's a very pleasant smell and it's a strong one that, does help cover up odors. And I put peppermint in it, I turned it on and, then I went and oh, uh bit of a tangent. I was gonna say I went to go light incense, which I did, but I should say, and this is kind of embarrassing, but maybe somebody else out there is like this or did this or something. So for like all of my life, well, my adult life, I have tried the incense game. I have gotten different things to put the incense on. I've tried different kinds. Um, the short story is I've been using it wrong for years. I did not know that you're supposed to put the incense in the little holder thing. Like there's a little hole where you stick the stick part in so that it like is upright and burns. Why am I explaining this to everybody that probably knows how incense works? So, for years, I have been lighting the incense stick and just setting it down on the thing and then wondering, why does it always go out? I have thought that it was like shitty brands of incense. I've tried, I wasted so much money trying to figure out why the incense won't stay lighted. And I never really talked to anybody like this. And I mean, this was back before YouTube was like, before the internet was really like a thing. So it's not like I had all this information about incense at my fingertips. Um, and I'm sure I did have some, but did it dawn on me to like look it up anywhere, like online? No. So I tried one more time, like a few weeks ago. I got this incense holder that I really thought was not cute, but um modern looking. I like nice things. And then I got some stuff that smelled like a campfire or rain, it's like smoky smell. And same thing happened. Like I lit it and then I set it down. It goes out after like a minute. I get back up, I light it, I set it down. It went off out after like a minute. And I'm like, this is a fucking scam, this incense shit. How come like I haven't heard of this before? Why isn't anybody saying anything about this? So then I get back up for like the third time and I go to light it. And what do I notice at the very edge of like at the end of the holder? Is this tiny little hole where you're supposed to put the stick in so it stays upright. So now I know how to use incense correctly. I also know it's not a good idea to use incense in a smallish room, even if there's a window and it's open, because you will get nauseous and throw up for about 15 minutes. Unless, like, you have an empty stomach, in which case you'll dry heave and pop all the blood vessels around your eyes so you have spots for days. Because that's what I did. So I know how to use incense now at 42 years old. You know, milestone, I think. But, anyways, so back to the story. So I was walking over to the library and I was lighting an incense thing and I was like, okay, this will help with the smells, but like in the back of my head I'm like, I know this isn't going to solve the issue. Like where the fuck I'm not imagining the poop smell. And the litter box has its own area. It's like I scoop every day. It doesn't like I get the best litter. Like there's a very specific litter that I get. I don't like the smell. So it's like a good odor controller too or whatever. Anyways, so I go back over to like the area that I had put the diffuser in Alicia's room and I was straightening up and I smelled like I got a strong whiff of shit. So I looked underneath this table that we have and we have a bougie, I call it a bougie cat house. I don't know how to describe it, so I guess I won't. But inside it on the cushion was a pile of shit. And it still stunk. And that is what I've been smelling for days. And it wasn't even 5 feet away from Alicia. Like, she could just look straight ahead and a little to the left. She would have seen it if she looked close. And I was like, dude, you have been sitting across from poop for days. You have been sitting in a room that smells like shit for days. And I found the culprit. And wouldn't you know, I got rid of it. The house smelled great. And I woke up and I went out to the kitchen, and it was the first time in days that it has smelled non poop. So the secret pooper didn't poop last night, which I appreciated. I mean, if he did it in the litter box. And just in case anybody was thinking about this, um, we have two litter boxes. Some people say you should have one box per cat. I think, like I've been told two. You should have one box per two cats. That's how I've always done it. And so we have two litter boxes, and I have tried moving one to the other side of the house. I've done this before. Like, it doesn't work because the cats, they like tag team. One goes to one area, one goes to the other area. So, like, the older cats are screwed. So, Xena finds a way to, like, poop and pee in private where nobody knows. Caesar can't figure this out yet. Although he is figuring out how to pee in the box. I don't get this. But, anyways. Oh, and then Alicia solved the mystery. Oh my God. I can't believe I'm spending this much time talking about shit. But anyways, so this cat has been like pooping in the kitchen, pooped on a cat scratcher, found poop on this cushion now in this bed place, this cat bed. And so I told Alicia, I was like, why is he just like, why is he pooping in these very specific places? And she's like, I think he doesn't want to poop on the floor. Maybe he thinks it's better than pooping on the floor. And so in the kitchen, he always poops on rugs instead of the kitchen floor. Like, we have the little rugs in front of the stove and the fridge in the kitchen or in the sink. And the cat bed that he pooped on the cushion, that was on a floor, the wooden floor. And then the cat scratcher was also on the wooden floor. So she might have something going there. So at least we have a courteous pooper, I suppose. Anyways, this past weekend, I was able to get out of the house because we got 2 days of like mid 70s. So it was like, it was very nice, and it was cloudy a lot of the time too. So of course I liked that. So I went out back and I did a fire, and I mowed, and I did some weeding. And if you have trichotillomania, weeding is it's really fun to do because it's still pulling things. Um, don't worry, I'm not bald. So, anyways, I'm out back, and there's been this kitten and what we just assume is the kitten's mom that we've been seeing hanging out in the backyard. And then, so like, I'm out there for hours doing stuff, and I start seeing the cats. They seem like they're wild because they seem very afraid of us. So either they're wild or they came, like, they escaped like a mean human home or something. But I'm pretty sure they're wild. Um, because they're very, very skittish. So anyways, like, they need to eat, and I got like several cans of cat food that like the cats just don't like that kind of cat food, even though it comes from the same brand of food that they eat from. So I just was like, oh, great. I don't have to waste these now. Other cats can eat it. I know what happens when you bring food outside, that you could attract other animals, but I don't care. I'm just trying to feed the kitten. And then, like, for a while, there was like a few days where we didn't see the mom. So we're thinking mom either died or was like, fuck this kid, I'm out. And then all of a sudden the mom reappeared. So I don't know what the fuck she was doing, like getting around town or something and leaving her baby behind. So, um, the kitten finally ate from the bowl, like didn't want to get close, and I understand that. But anyways, so I was sitting there and I was like, me and Alicia are talking, and she's like, I gotta find a way to trap them. I'm like, excuse me? She's like, to take them to a shelter. I was like, you're not trapping these cats and taking them to a shelter. Like, they could die. But she said they'll be adopted out. At least the kitten will, like, there's discrimination against adult cats. And I'm like, so my thing is, I don't want to have anything to do with this because I don't want to, like, put some cats in a cage and bring them to a shelter and give them to the people. And then the cats are going to think that they're not wanted. And like, yeah, they were never ours to begin with, but they did live in our backyard, and they do have some sort of a relationship, at least with me, I think. And Alicia was like, are you serious? And I'm like, how do you not know this? I have said this over the years about different kinds of animals too, not just cats. I was like, I was like, I want to capture these cats and bring them inside. After they have, like, they need vet visits and stuff like that. She's like, we can't have any more cats. I was like, yeah, one time we had five. We have four now. We're probably going to lose two soon because they're really old. So, anyways, I don't know. I'm not winning that one yet, but like I told her, and she knows, if you're going to play the trap game, you're going to get the trap yourself. You're going to figure out how to do it all by yourself. You're going to bring it to the shelter all by yourself and deal with your feelings all by yourself. So, anyways, um, it was like Saturday, and Janice hired her friend. She's got a friend that's like, quote, like a jack of all trades. And for context, Janice always has people do shit like in her backyard, landscapers, mowers. She always hires the worst people. I'm like, Janice, go on the thing called the internet and look up to see what the reviews are like. You should never hire your friends. So she hires this dude. And so Nadine, her sister, down on the opposite end of like the other end of the street, she has this huge tree that she just wants taken down. So she's finally gotten around to it. And I asked Janice, I was like, this is inappropriate, I know, and you don't have to answer, but like, did you guys pay more than 5 grand for this? And she's like, oh yeah. So I'm thinking that they paid about 10 grand to get this massive tree down. And so the guys bring like a boomer. I don't know if that's like the name of the equipment or a company, but it's this huge thing that you see people like when they're going up to the cable lines or something, like where they're standing in that little cart thing and it raises them all the way up to the sky. Well, I guess that's what they were using because we went down there and we saw it. And that's, I guess, not allowed to be used to cut down trees. And so Janice thought that the best way to hide that was like when they were done, because it took them 3 days. And then after each day, they just drove the big machine down the street to Janice's house, next door to ours, and just parked this huge machine out front. Like as if that was going to hide the fact that it was used for the big ass mess of branches down the other end of the. I don't get it. I'm like, are you fucking serious? These people even have insurance? So, anyways, they did not do a good job. Um, and so, but that's not why I said that. So we're down there, and I'm doing a lot of talking today. Where am I at? What time? Oh, might be a little bit of a longer one. I'll try to hurry though. Because you have precious time, and I don't want to waste all of it. Just a little bit. So anyways, Janice borrowed our huge wheelbarrow. It's like a big wheelbarrow. It was like 100 something bucks that we bought a few years ago, and I use it because like I there's fewer trips I have to make from the backyard to the front to put the stuff in front of the house for the town to pick up. And there was a lot of weeding to do, which is kind of embarrassing, but like that's how many hot days there've been. And Alicia's tired after work. She doesn't always have like the energy to do this shit. And I just am hiding from the sun. So I got a lot of weeding done. But like I needed that wheelbarrow so I could put all the stuff in there and make fewer trips because our other wheelbarrow, I would have to make a trip every like 20 minutes. And that's just, I'm too lazy for that. It's enough that I'm already out there doing manual labor. So Janice has not given us the wheelbarrow back. And then one day I saw people she hired to landscape use our wheelbarrow to walk down to Nadine's house, and they were transporting dirt and shit back and forth. I was so pissed. I was like, okay, you're 42, you're 42, you're 42. Be a fucking adult. Okay? Like, Janice will give you your wheelbarrow back, but I don't like the fact that other people are using it. I've never liked that about anything I've let anybody borrow. So I went down there. Alicia's like, I want to see where they're at with the tree. And I'm like, great. I want to see if I can get my fucking wheelbarrow back so I can use it for weeding. And I did. I got it back. But it didn't come without something. So, like, I'm about to walk back down the street to our house with the wheelbarrow. And Nadine comes up to me and she's like, oh my God, look at this. Like, look what Maddie found. Maddie's her dog. And she's like, it's a bunny. And so I'm expecting to see like a bunny when she shows me her phone. And what do I see? I see bunny body parts. Like bloody, torn apart tail, bunny leg. I'm like, what the fuck is this? She's like, well, Maddie found this. I'm like, what the fuck are you showing this to me for? Like, I was like, are you serious? And Nadine's like laughing. She's like, what? And she's just proceeding to tell me like the specifics about how the bunny got torn apart and how Maddie was like, had a leg in her mouth. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, you can't just show somebody a picture of like a dead bunny torn apart. Oh my God. And I just trekked it back to the house. Like, do not do that. Oh, I was not happy about that. I was like, Nadine, I was like, even my wife knows, like, do not tell me any sad stories about animals. I know they happen. I don't want to hear them. Alicia knows not to tell me the stuff that she hears that happens back at the barn with her family. And like the barn cats have accidents sometimes. She knows not to tell me about that because that's upsetting to me. Oh, I can't believe I saw that fucking bunny. I can't get that image out of my head now. I'm gonna get her back for this shit. Anyways, um, is there anything else? Oh, so like Alicia had stopped by Nadine's house after work on Sunday to help clean up the mess that the tree people should have cleaned up because they were paid the thousands of dollars. And of course, Alicia, she's nice. She volunteered to help. Like she's a very nice and generous and giving person. I, on the other hand, am not, and I would never have volunteered to help. But Alicia did. This happened all while I was sleeping too. Hours. She was over there chainsawing things. And so at the end of it, Nadine gives her a $50 Texas Roadhouse gift card for her efforts and was like, I know you worked today. I really appreciate that you spent that time and came over and helped us. And she didn't even really know that Texas Roadhouse is like Alicia's favorite restaurant. So of course we went that night. And for the first time and what feels like forever, and I can't even remember the last time this happened, I froze for several seconds when the person who came to take our order asked how I wanted my mashed perderders. And she was like, do you want bacon, sour cream, da 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 da? And all of a sudden, my mind just for real froze and the options were just swirling in my mind and I'm like, do I pick them all? Which one? I didn't even hear them all correctly. And it was like the longest 5 seconds of my entire fucking life because Alicia and the lady was just staring at me. And then I was like, sorry, my brain broke. Can you repeat that? And then I'm like, and then I asked for an alcoholic beverage after that because I like their fruity drinks. So it's like, what is she going to think about that? I don't know. But yeah, that was, and I know it's the processing stuff, I get it, but like in the moment, I am not being nice to myself. I'm like, work, brain, work, mouth, work. And then they did. Um, and then I'm sure some of you will appreciate this, and others will probably shake their heads or roll their eyes, and it's okay, just don't tell me who's who. So Alicia's been wanting to take Caesar to the vet. Sorry, excuse me. Hopefully you didn't hear that. So she's been wanting to take Caesar for to the vet because he's lost some weight. Uh-oh, my voice is scratchy. Sorry. Is that better? Okay, it seems to be better. Hope you didn't hear that either. Um, it's been like, I don't know, a couple of months. She's made like, oh, we should take Caesar to the vet. And I'm like over here, like, okay, his behaviors are the same. Like, we're the type of people that take our cats to the vet when there's an issue, which is like every 10 years in their life, because we take good care of them. And so finally, I was like, okay, I'll call because she wanted me to call her something. And this was like the other day. What's today? Wednesday. So this was Monday. And I was like, I'll call. And I called the vet to make an appointment and I left a message. And Alicia gets home and she's like, did you call? And I was like, yeah, I left a message. And she's like, well, did you call back? And I'm like, no. And she's like, but like they don't really check their messages. And I'm like, maybe they started doing it. And she's like, well, thank you for trying to call. And I was like, excuse me. Trying to call implies I didn't call. I picked the phone up and dialed the number. Well, pushed the button because it's already saved on my phone. And I used my mouth and left a pretty shitty message because I get anxiety leaving messages and I'm sure I left information out. Who knows? So I didn't try to call. I did call. And she's like, well, why didn't you call back? And I was like, I was going to give it a day and then call Wednesday, which was today. That was the truth. But she didn't know that. So she was annoyed and she just called and she was able to get a hold of somebody and made the appointment and like was irritated. And I was like, look, I was like, I get it, but I did call. I didn't try to. I did. And you didn't ask what my future plans were. So you didn't know that I was going to actually call Wednesday. And you made an unnecessary phone call that you didn't have to make. Hopefully, Caesar doesn't die soon because then this will sound terrible to anybody listening to it. Okay, but, anyways, I think that's all I've got. There's got to be something autistic that you pulled out of this episode. Hopefully it was relatable. I think my mouth worked okay this episode. I'm so happy. This means my day's going to go great because I woke up like before 10 o'clock in the morning. That does not happen very often. And I feel motivated and my mouth is working and my brain wants to do lots of things right now. So I'm going to go do those things. And thank you very much for listening. Thank you for anybody that is over on Substack and reads my shit. Subscribes to it, and I appreciate the support and the kind words. So thank you, and thank you for listening. Goodbye. Whoops. Bye.